Hi, Henny, how are you? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, I'm Technicolor. I wanted to share my thoughts on the Loftia closed beta now that today is its last day. If you missed it, no worries. It'll be releasing in early access in mid to late 2026. And if you don't know what Loftia is, it's this super cozy MMO, which is short for Massively Multiplayer Online, where you play online with friends in this solar punk world. You'll spend your time farming, crafting, decorating, and exploring this world that is focused on sustainability and community. Now, I should mention that I somehow didn't even know about Loftia until fairly recently. I'd seen so many friends posting about it, including some friends who had become Loftia partners. So I looked into it, and it seemed like a game that I would definitely enjoy. So I applied myself, and I was accepted right before the closed beta test started. It was this crazy whirlwind, and I am so grateful to have been accepted to the partner program, so I could have the opportunity to play in this closed beta. And since this game somehow slipped under my radar until now, I thought that I should make a video talking about the game and my experience playing in the closed beta. If you don't know what a beta is, it's kind of this pre-release version of a game where you can get a sort of glimpse of what to expect when the game officially releases. So in this case, it was a closed beta, so only a small amount of people were given access. But the idea is to play the game and let the developers know your thoughts, including any bugs you may have encountered. This way, the developers can help work on ironing out any of those issues before the actual release, and improve on anything from the feedback they received during the beta tests. Later this year, when the game is set to release in early access, it will be pay to play and available on Steam, PC, Mac, and Nintendo Switch. While you will need to pay for the game in order to play, I think it's worth sharing my takeaway from the beta and my overall thoughts on the game. Spoiler alert though, I definitely think Loftia is worth paying for, at least given what I've seen so far. I love when games have character customization, and Loftia is no exception. While there wasn't an unlimited amount of customization options in the beta, there was quite a lot of options for your character's individual look. There was actually quite a funny moment from my first Twitch stream of the closed beta where I somehow didn't notice the other rows of options that were available to me. Which one do I want? Oh, wait. Not Andy noticing. If only there were more than one row. Why did I think these were not, like, accessible to me? Okay, eyebrow. There's still only one row. Do you know what's funny? If I still had my camera over here, no, you'd still know that there was more than one row. I was nervous and excited, okay? One thing I thought was amazing within this character customization screen was the inclusivity already that's been brought to the game. This might not be something that the majority of players will think about, but representation is so important, and bringing that to Loftia is a huge deal. To be able to see yourself included, even in small ways within the gaming space, is something that we desperately need more of. And for Loftia to have prioritized that this early was really heartwarming to see. In addition to your character's general appearance, you're able to adjust the fashion to your own style. And what I found exciting about this is that you can and do unlock outfits through game progression. Besides character customization, we'll also have the opportunity to adopt animal companions and dress them up. While this wasn't a feature included in the closed beta, if you played through the main quest line, you could unlock a special Betabara, which is a customization option for a capybara companion that will celebrate Loftia's closed beta period. I'll admit, I don't know why, I cannot for the life of me ever remember the name capybara. You know, those cute little animals. My first thought every time for their name is always chupacabra. Not the same thing. My Twitch chat could not get over the fact that I couldn't remember the name capybara. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I absolutely adore building and decorating within games. And honestly, outside of games, in my real life home too. The majority of my content here on YouTube is speed builds for The Sims 4, though you'll definitely see me designing houses and decorating in other cozy games like Palia, Animal Crossing, Pokopia, and more, here and on Twitch. Within Loftia, your home is essentially a mini floating sky island where you'll be able to decorate to your heart's desire. Something that was a bit confusing to me at first, however, is the fact that your individual island, at least during this beta period, was part of a mini neighborhood. So while you have your mini home island, you'll also be connected to a main hub sort of island, which you share with 3 other players. Their home islands, like yours, is connected to that little hub island. I was a little thrown by this at first because I've usually only played games like this where your home is very much a separate space from others. For instance, in my first MMO game, Palia, you access your home lot from the main town, but your home is private to you. You can have, of course, other visitors come visit your lot and visit your friends' lots, but you can't see their lots from your own individual lot. In Loftia, you have your individual lot, but sort of share a neighborhood with 3 other players. You can see their lots and visit if permissions allow, even if you aren't friends with that player. Plus, it seems like your neighbors are randomly assigned to you whenever you travel home. I'm not sure if this is the plan for Loftia going forward, but this is a very interesting setup for me because you're constantly able to see other players at varying stages. So you may have just started the game and are encountering your home for the very first time, and your neighbor may have already have this beautifully decorated island. While some might find that overwhelming, I personally enjoy it because it's like free, never-ending inspiration. You can see what your neighbors are up to, how they've decorated, and be inspired to make adjustments to your own home. Plus, this sort of setup where you're momentarily introduced to other players, again, you'll get new neighbors each time you return home, could easily help you meet new people and make new friends. During the beta period, there were also 3 sort of locations that you were able to access which make up the world of Loftia. Loftia City, the Hanging Gardens, and Gridfall. Naturally, you start out in Loftia City and will eventually unlock the other 2 areas. Loftia City is very interesting because there's the dome in the center, which is how you'll get to and from your home lot. But then there's 2 other points that will become travel stations as you progress within the game. Here in the city, though, there are these sort of shops scattered around that are run by individuals. Each of these seems to be multi-purpose in a way because the owner will chat with you and can unlock story and quests, while there's also a place to shop from them. After you've worked through some of the main quest line, you'll unlock the Hanging Gardens, which I think might be my favorite area of the 3. It's this expansive land where nature seems to be the main priority. While Loftia City and its inhabitants clearly love and appreciate nature and give back to it, it's become more of a city, whereas here in the Hanging Gardens, it's definitely more of a garden. Here you can fish, forage, go mining, and so on. There's also lore and history to this place that you can learn as you explore. I also really enjoyed the approach to fishing in this game because you're not simply hooking them out of the water. You're using a specific system that doesn't appear to harm the fish, but still provides you with data about them and their environment. There's also a community event where you are farming within a group, which takes place every hour. The 3rd location, Gridfall, is a bit grittier and allows you to explore more of the overall history of Loftia. These Loftians want to know more about their world and how it has evolved over time. So the study of artifacts and the like is key here. If you're familiar with the game series Splatoon, it feels very similar in ways, at least aesthetically. There's also these underground tunnels where you'll eventually be able to explore and find these artifacts. But before then, you spend your time above and will find a museum, a research station, and more. The majority of the story here depends on you being willing to help with a major issue the Loftians are facing: quakes. The gameplay of Loftia is fairly simple and very easy to pick up, which is where the game truly excels. You'll spend hours exploring, unlocking and upgrading tools, and progressing the story. And that time passes rather quickly because, as they say, time flies when you're having fun. And that's the main thing. Loftia is actually very fun. It has this charm to it, can be genuinely funny, has questlines that do intrigue, and it simply pulls you in. I do think that some of the gameplay felt a little clunky, but that's to be expected since they're still in the beta stage. Fishing and flying particularly felt unnecessarily difficult. Like other games, there are these sort of ripple spots that indicate where you can fish, and reeling the fish in is straightforward while still providing some challenge. However, in Loftia, it's my understanding that you can only fish within these ripples, nowhere else. That's not a huge problem, but during the beta, the hitbox essentially for the ripples was fairly small. I found myself repositioning my character often to try to aim, spending quite a lot of time trying to fish rather than actually fishing. If you cast a line out and you were close to the ripple, but not quite close enough, it didn't count. You'd have to try all over again. This was interesting to me because it became annoying to try to fish, but it felt almost more rewarding to successfully fish than it does in other games where I generally just end up ignoring fishing altogether. Also, flying was difficult for me because there seemed to be more resistance or something preventing you from easily changing course or ending up exactly where you'd intended. Other than that, there were just small things that seemed a little bit off, but will likely be fixed over time. For instance, aiming in general was a little finicky, but there are definitely things you can do to adjust how you approach it. In Animal Crossing New Horizons, for example, they'd given quality of life updates to make aiming easier, but until then, you'd learn almost little tricks to position yourself to tackle certain tasks like terraforming. Aiming in Loftia is similar in that way, but that might be something that is improved upon before the release. These were small annoyances that I discovered, but didn't impact my gaming experience too negatively, especially since this is the beta. And the point is to help the developers identify these potential issues or bugs and fix them before the full release. I do know that some had experienced the game crashing at times, and I unfortunately did experience the game kind of freezing up on me once. I did play mostly on stream, only booting up the game a few times when I wasn't live streaming, but within the over 14 hours I played, I think that's pretty good. My graphics card also seems to be a bit older now, even if I'm a little in denial about that. So I think knowing that I was able to stream it and play the game and it performed this well, it should perform well on most machines. Overall, I found myself sucked into the world of Loftia quite quickly, and I had a ton of fun throughout my entire experience with this closed beta. I'm very much looking forward to the official release, and I can confidently say that Loftia is a fun game that, at least at this stage, will be well worth the price. They have said that the game, in addition to being pay to play, which is that one-time purchase, they do plan on including microtransactions, but I don't expect those to be anything more than cosmetics or things like that. I really enjoyed my time with the beta, and everyone that I know that played in the beta felt similarly. Did you have access to this closed beta? Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please drop me a like and be sure to subscribe to see more of my cozy gaming videos. If you'd like more content like this, but live, please follow me over on Twitch, where I typically stream 4 days a week, playing games like The Sims, Palia, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.